So, as I was thinking about the NBA, I just really wanted to talk about Michael Jordan. And honestly, it's not a topic that I do normally. I don't normally do old players, right? Old people or you know, maybe 2000s talking about the NBA because I feel like that when I do make those videos, they're going to come out later and they're going to be more videos focused on analytics and statistics and opinions. But right now I like to at least keep the videos on newer topics and topics which are pertaining to like right now. The reason why I do that is mostly due to the fact that even though I like NBA history and I know a lot about NBA history, like it's not like I don't know about the past and that I'm just commentating on the present, is that I know a lot and I am very opinionated with the past. And when those videos come out, I want them to be videos, structured and less about the moment because let's face it, the 2023 season was a very interesting one. So, but as I was looking, we always talk about the GOAT debate, and I always talk about LeBron and what he's done and really his achievements. But we never really talk about Michael in this channel. Mike, this is not a video hating on LeBron or praising Michael, but this is more of a just totality statement on both of these two guys and focusing on Michael as I've done focusing on LeBron. Now, as you see the GOAT case, Mike's career is basically perfect. He has the, superhero career, literally. He came into the league, third overall, wasn't really expected to do much, was expected to be good, had just come off a losing season in college after winning a national championship because, he was the superhero of the NBA. He came in, not that many expectations, really looking to just be the best player of himself because people thought, as I was saying, that he just came straight from college from a championship because even though it wasn't like that, they made it seem like that. That it was, oh, he won the NCAA, he hit the shot, and then he went straight into the NBA. And honestly, that wasn't the case. Michael was a hard worker. He consistently put in the work, consistently put in the grind, consistently made plays, and got his team to victory in every step of the way. In the Olympic Games, in this one exhibition match that NBA stars played against college guys, in NCAA, and in the NBA too, he was a winner. For his first maybe 4 or 5 seasons, his team wasn't that good. He normally, had problems with getting over the hump. And even though, yes, he in like '88, he did have a lot of years where he made the playoffs. Like in '88, the first 3 years of his career was mostly losing, playoff, chokes, and just overall team management, which was pretty trash. Then '88 came around, and '88 is when Michael turned basically into a new person. He won the MVP and the Defensive Player of the Year. He torched the league on fire, and really, he basically made his name as like, yo, I'm here. Right? For the past years, he had been scoring, but no one's scared of a guy who can score but can't lead to wins, and I'm sorry. If you could score as many points as you want, Michael was scoring 37 the year before that, but people weren't really considering him a threat to be a GOAT if your team is winning 40 games and losing 42, right? Especially when you're supposed to be challenging Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, which every season seemed like they were never going to lose. So as the 80s came around, Mike went to the playoffs a lot, and in the 90s he didn't. In 88 and 89 is known as the Pistons years. They, in 88, the Pistons beat them, if I'm not mistaken, in '89 too, and in '92. So the Pistons were basically just really, winning against Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan's team beat, and it was because they had the Jordan rules, which were basically enforced to beat Michael up. and make him have wear and tear on his body so that he would play worse because they knew if they stopped Michael, they stopped the team because there was no system. But then we get to 91. Phil Jackson as the head coach, Scottie Pippen as the number two, and this is just when it started, you know? The triangle worked perfectly. Michael was the perfect player for this type of system, and he did it. Let's just say he did it. He won his first championship. And then apart from here, the story just tells itself. He three-peated, won three, won multiple MVPs, led the league in steals, led the league in scoring every single year that he was on the Bulls, except 1995 where he only played 17 games. And was playing consistently a lot of minutes per game, hit a bunch of clutch shots. And I don't have to explain to you every single season in detail. If you have any questions, go watch the Jordan modes in 2K. That should help. Or just go watch a Michael Jordan career summary because there's no way I'm fitting that, a whole summary in 10 to 20 minutes. But when we look at his career and we look at his case for the GOAT debate, there's three things which, in my opinion, make a very great GOAT debate. First, he was a two-way player. As much as people don't like to talk about this, offense and defense win. He was a 3-time steals champ, a 10-time NBA scoring champ. He was a Defensive Player of the Year once and an MVP 5 times. That goes to show that he was a complete monster on both sides of the ball. He was good at playing offense, he was good at playing defense, and you cannot put a price on a player who also, apart from all of this, got 9 all-defensive teams, right? Right? The second thing was his achievements, right? Like, Michael's achievements were undeniable. He's a 6-time champ, 6-time Finals MVP, always being the best player on his teams. He has 2 three-peats, 5 MVPs, 11-time All-NBA, 14-time All-Star. You get it. I already said his other achievements, but like he has an undeniable list of achievements. And also, he has the highest scoring average of all time. In the playoffs, I'm pretty sure he also has the highest scoring average, that being 30 for the regular season and 33 for the playoffs. And he was efficient too, 50% from the field basically for his career. 50% on most of his seasons, and, shooting a good percentage from 3 and from the free throw line, right? Or at least a league average percentage. And third, I believe it was the aura. Michael Jordan was Michael Jordan, and everyone knew Michael Jordan. He's not like no other superstar. He's like the Michael Jackson of basketball. He was a superstar. Everyone knew who he was. People would go to games, even if they didn't like basketball, because they knew how he looked, what number he wore, and if they would go there, they would see something spectacular. And that is what his GOAT debate consists of. There's a lot of statistics, there's a lot of indiscreet things that you could look at, but his influence, who he was, his influence, the way that he carried himself, the way that people look at him, his image, which will span a lifetime, his trends that he started, the way that he changed basketball, that all fits into his persona, and all of these things make him who most people consider as the GOAT. Apart from having the achievements are just a thing, right? And a lot of people look more into what you did as a player. And anyone who lived through the 90s has undeniably Michael Jordan as their GOAT. And it has nothing to do with this or that. It doesn't have to do with bias or anything. And when we look at Michael Jordan as the GOAT, we have to look at the fact that there's an almost unrefutable argument. In my opinion, yes, there are comparisons that can be made. That's not a door that's completely closed. But from the accolades, the two-way ability, the scoring, more specifically the scoring, the influence, the way that he changed the game, the shoes, right, the dunks, the layups, the jump shot, the way that everyone wanted to be him, and the fact that he made basketball what basketball is today. Like, there's no telling the story of any basketball without 3 players, and that's Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, and Larry Bird. Like yes, there's other guys who can't miss, but those are the three most important guys to the history of the game. And Michael Jordan's GOAT debate is phenomenal. When we look at that, I want to say, who's your GOAT? Go argue. That was, I've done videos on LeBron before explaining his, but I'll probably do another one tomorrow explaining it more specifically. And in my opinion, I just want to know what you think. I'm not going to say who my GOAT is, but this argument is pretty insane.